Okay, so recording has started. Yeah, so we are reading the meaning of the prayer. So I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So we are acknowledging with the sentence that we are born in ignorance, right? And see, what is ignorance? It's not that we don't have the material education. You all are very well educated. You are all working in the high tech field, correct? But from the spiritual angle, like we didn't know that what is the purpose of life, or many of us didn't know what is the purpose of life. Some of you may know, and we were not really looking that why we have come here, what is the purpose of life. So that's called ignorance, right? And just thinking that was enjoyment and just working on the things which gives me the material enjoyment, that is what it is, right? But that is then once the Bhagavad Gita opens our eyes that that's not the purpose, because when we live here it will invariably lead to misery, right? And that was acknowledged in the verse 15 of chapter 8. Okay, and my spiritual master, so need of the guru, right? How the need of guru. So in this case, Prabhupada is coming with through his commentary. The words are from Krishna. Krishna is acting as a guru, Chaita Guru, right? Sitting in our heart, right? And then it is further with a guru who is here on this earthly planet, who has been here. Through their words, we are able to understand more contextual meaning, right? When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? So this is referring to the one of the Goswami. We say six Goswamis who has in our parampara. They wrote a lot of books, and they gave a lot of commentary, which is being referred. So it's telling that when Rupa Goswami is the primary, one of the primary Goswamis, it's called Prayojan Guru. He is our goal, right? So Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, right? So Lord Chaitanya asked these Goswamis to go and do all these writings, so in the time to come we can learn from it. I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. So you see, start offering obeisances, because unless we get the blessing, we cannot progress. So we start by offering obeisances to the lotus feet of our spiritual master, and onto the feet of all Vaishnavas. So all Vaishnavas. So you know that Lord Himself says that that He likes people who respect His devotee more than Him. Okay, so feet of all my spiritual master and onto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanātana Goswami. So they both are Goswamis, as well as Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. These are the six Goswamis. I offer my respectful obeisances onto Lord Sri Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaitacharya, Gadadhara, Srivas, and other associates. So these are the Panchatattva, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So these are the five together, right? They perform the pastime. So these are primary associated. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is just like Balramji, right? Advaita Acharya, his incarnation. Gadadhari, his internal potency. Srivashis, which represent the devotee, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Shri Krishna, along with their associates Shri Lalita and Visakha. Who is Lalita and Visakha? Do you know?
Radharani's dearest friends.
Disciples of
Yeah,
Christ.
so they are yeah. So they are the so Krishna has 8 primary gopis, right? So he has millions and millions of gopis, right? But there are 8 primary sakhis. Of those two, they are the closest. Lalita is in fact born on the day of Radharani was born, and Lalita Devi and Radharani, they have this very friendly competition to get most of Krishna's attention. Okay. Oh my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation, right? So now it starts whenever we are approaching the Lord, right? Once we have talked about the 3 elements of the prayers, right? The first element is always glorifying the Lord, right? And not glorifying, just saying something with the reality, right? So the reality is you are the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis. Now, but it's shifting. Okay, tattva, one line. Then it is turning to the Lord's heart. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances to you, right? So who Krishna loves the most? Gopis and Radharani. Radharani is a gopi. She is the primary gopi, right? So whenever when we are paying obeisances, glorifying somebody, if we glorify the things they like, right? The things, the people they like, the personality they like, right? So the person becomes very happy. In fact, they become more happy. If you want to glorify a mother, glorify their children, glorify their husband, and you see the women will become very happy. Right? Similarly, other way around. I offer my respect to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Shri Krishna. So here, the emphasis is all the personal aspect, right? So it is not the impersonal Brahman we are talking about. Offering, so paying obeisances to all the personality who are very dear to Krishna, right? And it is glorifying even the um, father of Radharani, okay, who are very dear to Lord Krishna. I mean, Radharani is very dear to Lord Krishna, but it's glorifying the Father. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like desired tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. So I am paying respectful obeisance all the Vaishnava. So see, Vaishnava devotees, like when we say ABCD, right? Association with Vaishnava. If we really want to see our progress, just try it out. Just try it out for 6 months. Create a lot of association with the Vaishnava. Talk with them, associate with them, and you'll see your progress, how fast you will move. Okay. Obviously, all they can fulfill the desire of everyone. They are like desire tree. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. So this is called the Panch Tattva mantra. So if you're chanting, this is good to begin every round of the chanting with this Panch Tattva mantra. So we make all lot of offenses in the beginning stage of our chanting, right? So look, while we're chanting, of course, the mind is going here and helter and shelter. Then we are looking here, there, right? So we we are making a lot of offenses during the beginning stage. So because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he's called the Mahavadanyaya Avatar. Mahavadanyaya. He's the most munificent. He forgives everything. Forget about forgives. He comes to anybody. Like he's the way it is said that he's taking the nectar of love in the glass, and he's bringing. So it's not we have to even go. Right, for Krishna, we have to go near him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of the most munificent incarnation of Krishna and Radha combined together, is bringing that nectar of love, of Radha Prem, Radha Krishna Prem to us, right? And he is willing to even put inside my mouth. My only criteria is I have to open the mouth. That's the thing, because that has to be done. I should be ready to accept, because Lord cannot force it, because that's love means that it has to come from within. Okay, so we have to open our mouth, and that's exactly what we are trying to do by reading the Bhagavad Gita, by talking, by understanding the Lord's knowledge, and glorifying, trying to put some practices in our life, right? With the ABCD association, books like hearing Takshanu chapter 7, Takshanu, right? And then that will lead to Sharvanam, right? Kirtanam, and then chanting, right? So A, association, B, books, and which means books means all the hearing and shastras and reading, right? Understanding the Lord. The books. C is chanting, right? Which is glorification of the Lord. And we recite the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because that's what our Sampradaya Acharya said, and it is the mantra which has been used in Kali Santara and Upanishad as the most is the Maha Mantra for this Yuga. Okay, and it is made of the three seed verses, three seed words: Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Okay, and Hare means Hare refers to. I know you know, but I'll just still asking. Hare refers to whom?
Radharani.
Radharani. And how it is referring to Radharani? How the Hare word is coming from Radharani?
Energy of the Lord Krishna Prabhuji.
Definitely, but how it is coming from energy of the Lord? What is the root word? Okay, so let
Hari.
me. Hari. Yes,
Hari.
yes. Who said that? Preeti Mataji, you said, or who said? Okay. Okay, so Hari. So see, Hari is Lord Krishna, and who Krishna loves. So like say whenever we like somebody, we change the name. Like you take like Radha, Radha. So we say Radhe, right? So it becomes the love name of the love, right? So Hari is Krishna, Hara refers to Radhe, and then in with the more affection, love, it becomes Hare. That's how our acharyas have explained it. This is not my explanation. This is the acharya's explanation. Okay. So Hare refers to Radharani, and Radharani is the energy of the Lord, right? So Hare, Krishna is most attractive, that we know, who attracts everybody. He is the Cupid personified. Even the Cupid gets attracted by Krishna, right? And to that Krishna Radharani attracts, right? See the things. And Rama means, of course, the name is, the first thing will come. Okay, it refers to the Lord Ram. It also, Rama is used to Balram, right? Balrama, right? So it is also used for Nityanand Rama. It says Nityanand Rama, so it refers to Ram. So it's all the aspects of the Ram. But here, as Acharya describes, this refers to Radhika Raman Iti Rama. The Radhika Raman Iti Rama, right? So one who is get attracted by the Radhika Raman, right? So that's what it is referred to. So this is how Acharya describes. And the whole mantra, as Acharya says, this is the this is the plea to the Lord to involve us in the service, in their service. That is the plea we make. That is the basis of the Vaishnavism, right? That we don't only want, and this is Gaudiya Vaishnavism, that we don't even want liberation. All the like the worshipper of the Vishnu, Narayana, right? Krishna, Rama, all the Vishnu Tattva, they will they, and if they are performing their worship to the Lord with the desire to only please them, they all will go back to the Lord. They all will go back to the Lord, the Lord's abode, in the spiritual world, right? But the mood, right, will decide which spiritual planet. There is spiritual planet, just like we have material planet, which there were 14 planetary system. There is spiritual planets as described. So depending on that mood, the devotee will go, right? So that's the mood, that I don't even want liberation. I don't even want liberation. What I want, please involve me in your service, in your loving service. And I will do service wherever, whether it's on this earthly planet, in the lower planet, upper planet, or at your dham, wherever you are, we will perform the service. So this is the mood, the prayer. So every time we read the prayer, try to remember the mood, right? The mood is very important, because that leads to our consciousness, that what we are able to understand from the discussion. Okay, so that's the preamble. It was not something I decided before the class. It just occurred while I was reading the prayer to you, that I thought that we should just uh, read the meaning. Okay, so I'll take a pause. Um, any questions there before we start the chapter 8? Okay, so but of course, my kind request, please do meditate on this prayer. This is the introduction. You can always go read every day. You can read this prayer, right? Read the meaning of the prayer. Initially, it helps to read the meaning to uh, to bring the emotions when we say the prayers, to bring the emotions, right? Of course, memorize the Panch Tattva mantra. Okay, and over time, as you read more every day, you will be able to memorize everything. It's just it's not that I sat and I tried to memorize. It's just repetition, even though I have a very bad memory. Okay, so attaining the supreme. Okay, attaining the supreme. So here we have covered up to verse. Uh, did we cover up to verse 16? Right? Yeah, we covered up to verse 16. Um, so Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's sixth question. Right? What is uh, Brahma, Adhyatma, right? Karma, Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, and Adi Yagya, right? And then what is Pranay Kali? So 8 questions were asked, and Krishna in the 2 verses answers 7 questions. And the Pranay Kali, which is the time of death, right? What happens? That is the elaboration in the whole chapter. Okay, and then 5 to 8, remembering Krishna at the time of death. That's where Antakale Chame Meva Smarnam Muktam Kalevaram Ye Prayati Prasmaran Bhavam Yati Nashti Ansa Samseha. Right? So Antakale, whatever we remember at the time of death, that's what we attain. Right? And then not all path leads to the same thing. And that for that the verse is Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam, right? So that is whatever the destination one, what one remembers at the time of that, that's the destination one will get, right? So yamam vapi smaran bhavam. So that is, and then further, let me do. So, and whoever at the end of his life, okay, the six, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that still he will attain without fail, right? The state is very important. And then the seven is, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. Very, very important. Bhakti doesn't mean that we leave out everything and then we just only doing the puja or reading. No, we have to. Love means service. Service we have to do our karma because we are who we are serving. We are serving our family members, other friends. So the bringing the Krishna aspect in that, right? Bringing the beginning stage, bringing the Krishna aspect into that, and using that propensity to that I see Krishna in my wife, I see Krishna in my in my kids, I see Krishna in my neighbor, and then with that inclination, interacting with them, right? And then carry out and then do our duty, and all other time we are just then we do the other different form aspect of worshiping the Lord, right? Through reading, listening, talking about him, serving him, right? So that is what the Lord is talking with your activities dedicated to me. So dedicate your activities. So if we are earning, dedicate the earning what we are doing to Krishna, to the Lord, right? Your mind and intelligence fixed on me, right? And then of course we have read that it is hard. Then he says we have to practice, right? We have to practice. So so this was 5 to 8, and then 9 to 13, remembering Krishna by then the other sections is remembering how to remember Krishna at the time of death. So different way to remember, and that's where remembering Krishna by Yoga Mishra Bhakti. That is something we discussed. We should discuss the Satyachakra Yoga, and we also discussed in the purport that is not a very easy process, right? Then remembering Krishna by pure Bhakti. This is the last two verses which we read, 14 and 6, 14 to 16, which was for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Okay, for one who always remembers me without deviation, I'm easy to obtain. And then after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. So see here, 15, if you look deeply, it might, or let me ask you, when you read text 15, do you get any questions? Any thought-provoking question? Long pause. Nobody has any.
Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
So, not exactly question, but when we say highest perfection and not returning to temporary world, I'm guessing it the person is in complete service to Krishna in reaching him as himself, right? That's what it means.
So again, Mataji. I didn't follow you.
So when we say he's not returning, it means when he goes to Krishna Loka, he is in complete service to the Lord, right? So
Yeah.
that's what
So
the highest perfection.
yes, highest perfection is yes. We so we know our true dharma, which is to serve the Lord, right? We are part and parcels. Yes. So we once we go back, so we are not we are so we and then we are out of the cycle of life and death, right? Which is driven by karma. That's the sixth question. The seven question starts. One is the what is karma, right? It is the action. So and then. So that is so you are absolutely right. Okay. The point I wanted to see this, which is full of misery. You see this world, this particular sentence, does it causes you any question?
I think
Anything?
it's just understanding even it's like even the happiness is temporary, right? Nothing is complete. I mean, sadness or happiness, you come back to the same state again, not satisfied kind of feeling. Content is only when you serve Krishna.
Yeah, so see, I'm asking very simple question. Okay, so let me ask a very simple question other way. Do you see, so this is telling that, this verse is telling that, oh, this place is full of misery. Do you all feel that way? Do you not get any happiness? Is it really a full place of full of misery? Does that give you
Happiness,
stress?
happiness is very short-lived if there is one, maybe just for seconds. And normally it's, I mean, if you look around, it's full of miseries, basically. Yeah, I can see.
Okay, okay. So yes, that's the question I have seen in my other classes. People ask that,
The
is this the
desires are never satisfied, Prabhuji. We desire
desire?
one thing. It's a
Yes.
temporary thing. It's a chain that builds up once we attain. We feel, hey, we are satisfied now, but it is temporary. That leads to another one. When are we supposed to control this? That is a thoughtful thing. It goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji. So basically the point I wanted to bring, yes, this place is a full of misery, but this is the place which where one can get liberated in this body, right? And see you are all are now on the path of understanding the Krishna knowledge, and you are doing, some of you are already doing devotional service to the Lord, right? You are some chanting and all, right? So how come if this is the place of misery, that are the once somebody start the devotion, they feel the same thing? Yes, so they're the challenge. So see what this verse I wanted to get deeper. Of course, this place is misery, but it also gives the flickering happiness, as Rajan Prabhu was talking about, right? It does give happiness. We do experience happiness. You got married, you had child, there was happiness. Of course, then there was challenges. So it is always a mixed bag, right? But from the spiritual realm, this it's a relative thing. Here it is. This is all full of misery. What we are seeing is it's just a flickering thing, and then what we think is misery. But that doesn't mean that we should stress out that, oh, this is the place of misery. What we should get aspire, that we have to go to Krishna. That's the light. We have to go towards light. And then we know that, oh, this is the place of darkness. So this gives more more impetus to go quicker, right? So that's one insight we can get, right? The other thing is the same place which is a misery, when Krishna is brought into the picture, the same place can become a very happy place, right? You'll see a lot of devotees, they are very content, very happy, right? And the same thing will you'll see that as we start, our desires are being controlled as dovetailed with Krishna's desire, you'll see that there's more satisfaction. So as we are growing old, there will be more, and we are learning this knowledge, will we see that there's more realization that I am content, right? I can see Krishna in every aspect. When I'm talking to devotees, right, I can see Krishna, and that will give more content satisfaction, and that will lead to peacefulness. And the peacefulness, until one get peacefulness, there is no happiness. That was in chapter 2, right? Once we have the peace, then there is happiness in our life. So each of these verses, just it just occurs, right? As we are reading, something just pops out, right? So this word just something popped out. So as you're reading, if you read intently, there will be some realization. Okay, so that's chapter 15, and the 16 is, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are place of misery, wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again, right? So high. So now these 14, 15, 16, it talked about the material planetary system, which is a place of misery. Then it's talk about the spiritual planetary system, and that is what 7 to 21 will explain. So few verse, 2, 3 verse will explain about the material world, and 2, 3 verse will explain about the spiritual world. So that's how we'll start. Okay. Trying to make it bigger for you. Okay, so verse 17. Sahasrayuga Paryantam
Sahasrayuga Paryantam
Aharyad Brahmano Vidu
ahar yat brahmano vidu.
Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam
Ratrim yuga sahasrantam.
Ta Tahoratra Vido Jana.
Taho ratra vidojana.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Okay, so this is the mathematical. We'll do some little bit of mathematics here. Okay, no calculation, nothing big. Okay, so see what this is talking about the material realm, and one of the quality, like we think that, oh, 100 years age, typical thing, yeah, people die even quicker, but yeah, that's okay, we live 100 years, right? But see how small we are in the comparison of even this material manifestation. Okay, even within that, so by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So it is now starting with, we know Brahmaji. Brahmaji is a secondary creator. He is a secondary creator. The first creator is Kṛṣṇa. He gives the all the five elements, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then the three subtle elements: in mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then in the chapter 13, 14, it will further be expanded into 24 elements and 26 elements. We'll read that. Okay, so these are the primary, right? These eight constitute the primary thing from which the material manifestation. So that's given to Brahmaji. Brahmaji takes that and then he expands and then he creates the different living entities, right? The whole Prakriti and all. His age is 100 Brahmaji years. Okay, so how long he lives? 100 Brahmaji years. But what is that Brahmaji years? It is like human years? No. So now that's where calculation goes. 1,000 ages taken together. So 1,000 ages. Ages here is means the Chaturvyuha. So like Chatur Yuga. So we are in Kali Yuga. You know, so like Chatur Yuga. Like so, can any of you tell me what are the Chatur Yugas here? Sati Yuga. You know, Sati Yuga,
Dwapar
Dwapar,
yuga.
Treta Yuga, and
Treta,
Kali Yuga.
Kali.
Kali Yuga. Yeah. So starts Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, second, Dwapar Yuga, third, fourth is Kali Yuga. So there are four yugas. Together, these four yugas constitute one Chatur Yuga. Okay, so be with me. Okay, four of these yuga together calls one Chatur Yuga, and this 1,000 of those Chatur Yuga, 1,000 of those Chatur Yuga constitute one day. Day of Brahma is 12-hour day. And then there is equal is 12-hour night. So that is 1,000 of this Chatur Yuga constitute 12 hours of Brahmaji. So we're just going to calculate the age of Brahmaji. Okay. So for you can read it also, but I have done the calculation for you. Just I thought that will be easier. So this is the age of what? Which Yuga?
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga. Okay, so this is Kali Yuga. So we are right now 5,000, around 5,000 years in the Kali Yuga of the 432,000. So people, when they say that, oh, Kali Yuga is going to end, no, not as per Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan knowledge. Okay, so 432,000 years of that we have passed around 5,500. Twice of this. So twice of this, two times factor is Dwapar Yuga. Okay, three times of this factor is Treta Yuga.
Treta.
And four times is
Satya
Satya Yuga. Okay. Is it okay on your eyes? Can you read this? Okay. 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 Now 1,000 of this. So if you just add this 1,000 of it, so is equal to one day of Brahma. So what we are doing, if you just add this, right, this will add to 43,020,000 years times 1,000. That makes is 432. So it is like 4.32 billion years. Okay, this is 4.32 billion years. And then because this is 12 hour, we double it. So it becomes 8.64 billion years, right? So let me write it down for you. 8.64 billion years. Okay, and that is one day, and this is also referred as kalpa. So one day of Brahmaji is also called kalpa. So this is one day. Now what we do to get the total age of Brahmaji? 100 years, right? So we multiply by it. So the 30 days in the month, 12 months, 100 years. Multiplied comes to 300 trillion 40 billion human years. That is our age of Brahmaji. Mind boggling, right? We think that, oh my, see, we are the center of the world, and the things are revolving around us, and people don't give respect, we feel bad, and those are things, right? But now when we understand the perspective, the glory of the Lord, and see Brahmaji, who is minuscule in the whole calculation. Brahmaji also has the age, and is minuscule in the whole spiritual calculation. And to that Brahmaji, we are like this. We are, if life is a continuation, we are just a dot. We are not even a dot. I don't know what to describe. We are just a dot. Nobody really. So once we have this, it's not to degrade ourselves, but it's to become humble. It's for us to remember. So we become humble. That, and we become grateful to the Lord. See what Lord has given to us, the opportunity He has given us. He has given this human body. He has given us these devotee friends. He has given this spouse, the child, and all. And how I can utilize them in the service of the Lord and go back to Him. Right? So this is how a devotee understand. The intellectual will say, oh, okay, good, I got one knowledge. Right? So this is one way to understand. So I have the other way to calculate is you'll come to the same thing. Okay. So 1 year of human is, so again here, 1 year of human is a day and night of the demigod. So this is the other way to do the calculation. So 1 human year. So you know the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where the Brahmaji took away all the cows and calves and the gopas, right? The Brahma is called Brahma Vimohan Leela. So it was only it was 1 year here, but it was only one day of the demigods, right? So that's how it says that demigods. So 12,000 such demigod years make one Chatur Yuga. So that is, so through that calculation, 12,000 such demigods year one make one Chatur Yuga. So again, if you just take that 360, right, which is the number of because that's one day, right? So 360 we're multiplying by 12,000, that comes to 432,000, and again do the same calculation. So you'll, and I brought both kind of a calculation because you'll see that sometimes this, it will be explained using the demigods years. So sometimes it is explained using the chaturvyuha becomes the building blocks. The other cases the demigod years, but both the calculation will lead to the same number. Okay. So here again I won't go over it, but I just put because I know some of you will be curious, and this is something we had when we had discussed the introduction. Does any of you remember that we had brought in this particular picture also? Because in the introduction there was the age of Brahmaji, and we had elaborate
Yes, yes,
Yes.
remember.
yes. So you can again look, right? So Satya Yuga, like how all these four and how this constitute one Chatur Yuga, right? And then how then there's the cycle of Manwantras, right? 71 Divya Yuga is equal to one Manvantra. So that's the other way, like right? So day of Manu, right? So the time of Manu, right? So one Manvantara, so that's 71 Divya Yoga. And then how many like 14 manvantras, and in between the sandhyas, right, which is the night time. So and sandhya there is a partial annihilation. So when this cycle Brahmaji cycle goes, there is a partial annihilation and there is a complete annihilation. So partial annihilation happens on every night of the Brahmaji, right? So after every 4.32 billion years, there's a partial annihilation. So you'll see some major events happening like the climate change, the what you call the cold age coming, right? So all those things will happen, or a big disaster, and then the complete annihilation will happen when the Brahmaji's leaves his body, right? And that, so right now Brahmaji is based on the calculation, he's in the 51st year of his birth. 51st year of his birth, and this is 27th Manwantras. Okay, these things are discussed a lot in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just giving you a perspective that no other sastra will have this kind of information. Okay, it is our Vedic Shastra which it provides all about the how this world is constructed, what is and what is the purpose. It goes so no other Shastra will give you what is a spiritual planet look like. It tells that oh, you'll go back, but what the constitution of spiritual planet is, no other Shastra will give you other than our Vedic Shastras. Okay, so we are very lucky to reading this. Yes, Prabhu.
How this part relates actually, like that modern science say that 4.53 billion years for Earth age,
Yeah,
and
Prabhu.
the one that we were showing 7 to 8 was there. So what part that thing
Yeah,
is?
Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. So if you just go to uh, preface or where we have discussed about this, there I had we have done the calculation and compared with the modern science, and we came arrived that what the modern science is telling. With that also we can come that where we are in terms of the age. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's correlate with what we little we know from the modern science also. So you have to go into one of these. Okay, here in the
Yeah.
preface, Prabhu. Okay, so here Brahma
Wow.
lives, and we have done a lot of calculation here, and I think this is where 155 billion years, right? So so this is the current age where we are, and modern day scientists have discovered that our present universe is approximately 155 billion years. So here we have done the correlation. So you can look into all this elaborate discussion. It's preface, second session. Okay. All right. So that was the um, little math for all of us. You're all with me? I haven't confused you, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay. No, means I confused you or you are good?
This is not
Confused.
confused, Prabhuji.
You're good.
Okay. All right, Prabhu. Okay, so we'll text 18. Avyaktad vyakta, sorry. Avyaktad vyaktaya sarvaha
अव्यक्ताद् व्यक्तताया सर्वाः
pravahavanti ahar agame
प्रभावन्ति आगमे
ratri agame praliyante
रात्रि आगमे प्रलीयन्ते
तत्र वैवक्ता samjake.
तत्रैवाव्यक्ता संज्ञके.
At the beginning of Brahma's days, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the light falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. So this is describing how the manifest and unmanifest happens, right? So we as a living entity, so this is for the people who are caught up in the cycle of life and death. Okay, so while the Brahmaji day is continuing, we are taking the different bodies depending on our karma, right? Different bodies and different family life and different experience, accumulating the karma, good karma, bad karma, and that is leading to next life, right? So we are going into this cycle of taking the life, right? Then Brahmaji's night, then there is a partial annihilation, and this all the souls they are taken to living entity become manifest. So they all become, we are manifest here, we become unmanifest. So you'll say that there's like a zip file. So compare with the zip file. So all those things are there, but all these executable, right? We are all like executing, showing the properties, characteristic of personality, all those becomes and become unmanifest. Okay. And then again, we manifest. Again, this cycle goes, and this goes forever, unless we comes out of it. So that's what this verse is telling.
I have a question.
Yes, Anmol.
So, like, based on a karma, we take another life, or like, if you're we follow Krishna consciousness regularly and are able to love God, we potentially could go to Krishna. But like, so when we become like a zip file, it isn't that we are all in Krishna's land. It is not. It is just that we are unmanifested. All the prarabdha and all the karma will manifest itself again when there is another day of Brahma. Is that the correct understanding?
Yes, yes. If we continue to live on this world and we have the karmic balances and we haven't submitted to Krishna, then that's exactly what you described. This is what will continue happening. Yes.
Okay.
But once we go to spiritual world, then those things go away. Then you are not in that cycle anymore. You are back to the Godhead. You are in the spiritual planet where there is no birth and life and death.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So text 19. Bhuta grama sa avayam. Was there a different question?
I just doubt here, Prabhuji, when you say unmanifest, do you mean death here, or is it like in between stage before getting a new birth?
So yeah, so see what we consider the death is the passing of the body. We consider the death, right? That is the death of the body. Soul never dies. We know that. So when the unmanifest happens, yet it is a death from that perspective. Whatever body we had, that body goes away, and all the souls goes in unmanifest. Okay, so they don't they are going into the neutral state where they are not showing the personality, their characteristic. So that's what the unmanifest really means here.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Bhuta grama sa avayam evayam
Bhu- Bhutagrama sa evayam
bhutva bhutva praliyate
bhutva praliyate
ratri agme vasha partha
ratri agame vasa partha
prabhavati ahar agme.
prabhavati ahar agame.
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma nights, they are helplessly annihilated. So, same, very similar words. What is in the previous ones, described in a little different way, again and again. So this repeat, the cycle just repeats. It's just saying, right? When the Brahma days arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of night, they are all helplessly annihilated. This is exactly what we discussed. Okay. So here you see bhutva pralayate. During the day they become manifest. At the night they are annihilated again. So bhutva pralayate. This is what he's talking about.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You said at Brahma's night there will be partial annihilation.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
is there a complete annihilation at some point?
Yes, Prabhu. At the end of the Brahma's life, 100 years.
And what's the difference, Prabhuji, like in terms of partial versus complete?
Yeah, so in the partial, some part of the planetary system will be annihilated, right? But the other planetary system may exist. Okay, so it can happen in a different way, or a part of the particular planetary system can be annihilated, or maybe the 5 or 6 of the 14 planetary system can be annihilated. Any of those situations can happen. So partial means there is still, so we know for sure that Tapaloka, right? So the topmost planet, Tapaloka, where all the sages live, the Brahma Loka, the where Brahmaji lives. So all lokas remains there, and all the annihilation, if that has to happen, it will happen on the lower planetary system. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And the complete, when it happens, then all the souls, they go into the body of Vishnu. Okay. So we have talked about 3 Vishnu, right? It goes and merges into Vishnu again, but because they had their desire was still there. It's not that it's not a liberation thing, right? So they just for the moment they have gone. Moment is for us is ages, right? It's like the trillion years we are talking about, right? So it's a many trillion years. Okay, so it goes in sutupti state. It's stalling. So this Vishnu, Vishnu is sleeping, right? Lying in the causal ocean. You see that picture, right? It goes there, and then when Vishnu then exhale, right? The new universe is formed, and then again Brahmaji, another Brahmaji is born, and then through again the whole thing starts. right? This is how. So this is pretty elaborately described in Canto 2 and Canto 3 of Bhagavatam.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. So now 2021 talks about the eternal spiritual world, right? The abode of Krishna. So now let's so far we saw about the material world. Parastasmatu bhavonayo bhavonayo
Parastasmattu bhavonayo
vyakto vyaktat sanātanaḥ
vyakto vyaktat sanātanaḥ
yasa sarveshu bhuteshu
yasha sarveshu bhuteshu
nasyatsu na vinashyati.
nasya atsu na vinasyati.
This is the
Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is the supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So see the characteristic of the universe, the spiritual sky, right? So in the two dimension, right? So because we know about these three dimension, right? There are multiple dimensions which we are not, so we only know about XYZ, and then the other dimension is time, right? And then people say fifth dimension where they talk about the consciousness little bit, right? So there are unlimited dimensions which we are not aware of, and that's the reason when even let's say it is said that the pastime of the Lord is still happening in Vrindavan. We don't see it because that's happening in a different dimension altogether, right? That's where the confusion happens. People think these things doesn't make sense if I try to, because we are trying to see through our senses, right? Which has limitation. Okay, so what this is telling that while the manifest unmanifest is happening, right, in the Brahma's life, the spiritual world is untouched. Nothing is get annihilated. There everything is just continuing. So this is just a contrasting, right? Contrasting what is the quality of the spiritual world. Avyakto shara ite uktas.
Avyakto shara iti uktas.
Actually this avyakto akshara. Avyakto akshara iti uktas.
Avyakto akshara iti uktas.
Tam ahu paramam gatim.
Tam ahu paramam gatim.
Yam prapaya na nivartante.
Yam prapya na nivartante.
Tadhama paramam mama.
Taddhama paramam mama.
That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which having attained it one never returns, that is my supreme abode. So what are the other characteristics? That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest. So this and infallible. So it never fails, right? So unmanifest is not goes through the cycle of manifest unmanifest. Okay, that which is known as the supreme destination. This is the ultimate destination. That place from which, having attained it, one never returns. And that characteristic is my supreme abode. Okay, so this is so here. Um, uh, Prabhupada used the word from Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dhama. I would like to show you. You go to Veda Base. And go to all books, and here look for Brahma Samhita. The last one, the Sri Brahma Samhita. Okay, here you will see this is the prayers of Brahmaji. So we lost, there were 100 chapters as per the scriptural history. There were 100 chapters. All the chapters were lost. This is only chapter 5. This is only one chapter which we have access to. Okay, and you'll see the glorification here, and the prayers are so beautiful. Prabhuji, Mataji, like amazing, like it's so sweet, especially sung by the devotees. It is amazing. So Like Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachinananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So this is Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the prime cause of all causes. So if you just go in the advanced mode, advanced view. So you'll see here I wanted to show the Chintamani because Chintamani. Okay, so it should this comes more often than that. Chintamani, that abode of Krishna. Yeah, Brahma being desire satisfaction, Govinda, practice the cultural act of Krishna, Lord of Svitadeepa. So it's Chintamani. Just a minute. Sorry.
Prabhu, text 2, Prabhu.
Text 2, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that was much earlier. Thank you, Mataji.
I learned
Yeah.
from my kids. They are learning in the.
Yes, Mataji. Shahasrapastra Kamalam Gokulayam Mahatpadam Trekanikranta Dhama Tadanaste Sambhavam. That is transcendental place of transcendental pastime of Krishna is portrayed in the second verse. A super excellent station of Krishna, which is known in Gokula, has thousands of petals and corolla like that of a lotus. Is this Karanam? Okay, yeah. Abode of Krishna. Gokula, thousand of petals and corolla like that of a lotus is sprouted from a part of his infinitely aspect, the whole of leaves being the actual abode of Krishna. So just you can go and read the meaning here. It is talks about all the abode of the Lord. It also talks about the relationship with Ganesh ji and other incarnation of the Lord. So a lot of details are there. Okay. The external potency of Maya, who is the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the preamable Lord Govinda in accordance with whose will Durga conduct herself. So how Durga ji is coming under Lord's energy, right? So there are a lot of details are there, right? So as appropriate, we will sometimes will come and visit this. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we missed to see the website name. Can you please
Prabhu is
repeat?
Vedabase.io, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so all our books, right? So you got vedabase.io. Okay, so you just click there and you'll see all the books, Prabhu. Means all the books which Prabhupada has translated and which is plenty. Right? Bhagavad Gita,
Found it.
Srimad, okay? Chaitanya Charitamrita, a lot of small books. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So so Chintamani, so basically this is the characteristic of the Lord's place. Where and see beautiful description is here, right? Prabhu writes in the Prabhupada purport writes, it's described in the Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dhama, a place where all desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of Lord Krishna, known as Golaka Vrindavan, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There are also trees called desire trees. They supply any type of eatable upon demand, and there are cows known as Surbi cows, which supply a limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddess of fortune, and he is called Govinda, the primal Lord and the cause of all causes. He just goes and goes like so. Like he's so attractive that his beauty excels that of the thousands of cupids. Right. So all those things are described here. So we'll move to 22. So here we'll describe the. So now Krishna describes. Okay, this is how my abode looks. Then how to? Then the question comes: how to approach this abode? How to attain this abode? Right. And this is the text 22. What that describes. Purusha sa para partha
Purusha sa parapartha
bhaktya labhyastva ananya
bhaktya labhyastva ananya
yash yashyanta sthani bhutani
yasya anta sthani bhutani
yena sarvam idam tatam.
yena sarvam idam tatam.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. See some of the key emphasis. Who's greater than all? Okay, is attained by unalloyed devotion. So how we can attain the Lord? By unalloyed devotion. Okay, although he is present in his abode. So it's not that, it's not like us that, oh, I am at my home, so I cannot be office. I cannot be at Chirag's Prabhu house, right? So I cannot. So because that's how my body is, right? But the Lord, even though he's present in Goloka Dham, he's all pervading also. So he's present like this is a personal form. He's all pervading, impersonal form, and everything is situated within him. So all pervading means just not impersonal. So there is impersonal aspect, right? The Lord's energy, like in the Brahman, impersonal. Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, right? Brahma Jyoti, right? And then there is a localized aspect of the Lord. Localized aspect. What is the localized aspect?
Paramatma Prabhuji.
Yes, Paramatma. Atma, Paramatma. Okay, so 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 that's the characteristic of the Lord. So here further you'll see there's more description of how Brahma Samhita will describe, right? So I'm skipping those detail, Ananda Chintamana Rasa and all the things is written in the purport. So to enter Krishna supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planet is possible only by bhakti. Devotional service is clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. Okay, so without bhakti, one cannot approach the Lord's supreme abode. Okay, so and then there are the references which Prabhupada makes from the different Upanishad. The Brahma Samhita also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode, Goloka Vrindavan, he is all pervading, so that everything is going so nicely. So that is the description of, so that is the one section we completed. Now we are moving to the last section, the supremacy of pure bhakti in attaining the Krishna. So how we started? If anybody can give me the sequence of topics which we have covered in chapter 8 so far.
Started with the 8 questions.
Wonderful, good. Next.
Remembering Krishna at the time of death.
Yes, then the Pranay Kale is being described, right? What is the final exam, right? So Pranay Kale is being described. Okay, that's the second section we did. Then what's next?
Talking about Brahma's day.
So the topic was before that, how to remember Krishna using Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, right? Yoga Mishra Bhakti. That is the third section, right? There Sat Chakra Yoga and all those stuff we talked about. And then the fourth is remembering. Yeah, Kevala Bhakti comes, but before that, it is described about the characteristic of the material world and the spiritual world, right? And then the importance of the Kevala Bhakti, right? And those things we covered. Now we are in the final section, which is saying that supremacy of pure bhakti in attaining Krishna. Okay, this is how we have come here. Okay, so here you will see the question which will get answered is the difference between yoga and bhakti path, right? So yoga, the way we think that, okay, which is the Stanga yoga, right? Because all the bhakti yoga, that's also yoga system. Yoga is connection, right? How the the Astanga yoga system or the Gyan yoga is different than the bhakti yoga system. So yeah, we'll lead chapter text 23. Yatra kale tva anavritam.
Yatra kale tva anavritam.
Avritam chaiva yogina.
Avritim chaiva yogina.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Vakshayami Bharat Sabha.
Vakshyami Bharatar Sabha.
O best of the Bharata. Bharatar Sabha is O best of the Bharata. This word is used a lot. I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So for the yogi, this is described for the yogi. So for yogi, the time, different times, kala matters. Like so, depending on what kala one leaves the body, will determine their next destination. So if you just, before we go, preamble, is just think that if you want to travel to a destination, we're taking a train or a plane, right? There's a timetable, there is a path. Okay, you will take, if you want to travel to Boston, this is the flight you will take at this time. If you miss, then the next flight is at this time, right? So, and some will take 4 hours, some will take 20 hours, there is stopover, right? So there are different path is taken, and the flights used a different elevation. The same for the train, right? So those things happens. Similarly, if you take the same analogy, the similar thing happens when the soul leaves the body, and especially this is being talked in the reference of the yogis who are practitioner of the Ashtanga yogas, right? So how, so their Sat Chakra yoga was being described, right? So what happens? So let's read about that. So there are is so I explained that the kala would matter, right? So the what, how the kala matters, that the text 24 is, text 24 to 26 is going to talk about the two ways of leaving the body. Okay, so 24 to 26. Agnir Jyotir aha sukla
Agnir Jyotir aha Shukla
sanmasa uttarayanam
Sanmasa Uttarayanam
tatra prayata gachanti
Tatra Prayata Gachanti
brahma brahma vido jana.
Brahma Brahma Vidojana.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the fire. So here's the destination. This is just like the, you'll think that this is the schedule of this flight. Okay, so this flight and then the destination is being talked about. So what is the schedule of the flight? Well, during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6th month when the sun travels in the north, right? So these are all the muhurta, right? So what time the body one leaves the body. And the very good example of this is from Mahabharata, one character,
Bhishma.
Bhishma
Bhishma
Pitama.
plays
Bhishma
one.
Pitama, right? He passed away. It started in in December. The 18 days fight happened, right? But he didn't leave his body until the 14th of January, when the Uttarayana begins, and that's the time he left his body. He was not required to. He was a devotee of the Lord, right? But that's how. So, but that shows that how the yogi, right, they can control what time, like if they have, you have done, they have achieved the perfection, right? And this is very hard, right? We have seen the Sat Chakra yoga itself, right? It's very hard to determine that, oh, this is the time I want to leave the body. Very, very hard. Okay, so people have to really work on it and go and get the siddhis, typically in the forest, away from the world, right? So so that's when the Uttarayana. So Uttarayana time period is generally from January 14th to somewhere in July. Okay, these are 6 months when the it's in the Uttarayana period, right? So that's conducive, and this within that there are the muhurta and all those stuff, auspicious moment of the day during the fortnight of the waxing moon, right? So when the it's waxing moon, right? The photo, so it's paksh, what Sukla Paksh and the Pitra Paksh, right? These are two different pakshas there. So one of those. So that's how it is described. So when that, so if that, those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the, so this, if so this time if one goes, then they don't need to take the birth again. Okay, they get the Sayujya Mukti, right? So this is called the what we call moksha. Okay, and the 25th, Thumur Ratris
Well,
Tatha Krishna. Yes, Anmol.
so this means like a lot of people are dying like between January 14 and July, like just by probabilities. So it means, like, what I understood is that all of them are attaining like moksha or something. Is
No,
that
okay.
I
No.
or I
So
missed
yeah,
something?
yeah. So see, so it's not that a 6 month period is that everybody who passes away they are getting the moksha. No, within that there are the appropriate muhurat, right? That what time somebody is leaving. So yes, and so now it's just by chance is it happening that they are leaving during that time? No, because see, the our life is determined when we are born. Our life is determined, right? And under what circumstances, if we are just following the karma path of karma and not getting into the bhakti or trying to understand the Lord, then we are completely under the influence of the modes, right? And if our karma is such that I have to be born, I will pass at the time that I have to born again. My karma is such that I have to get liberated, then I will go during the time when I'll get liberated. So that's how the system will work.
Okay, thank you.
Dhumo ratristatha Krishna
Dhumo Ratris Krishna
Sanmasa Dakshinayana
Sanmasa Dakshinayanam
Dakshinayana.
Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir
Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir
Jyotire.
Yogi Prapaya Nivartate.
Yogi Prapya Nivartate.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6th month when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet but again comes back. Right? So this is again that they have to come back. And you see it talks about the moon planet. You say, oh, we have been to moon planet. Um, when we go to the moon planet, why don't we see anybody there? When we say that it goes to the moon planet, and this is why the different dimension comes into the picture, right? So different dimension where even if let's say we go to I was talking about if when you go to Vrindavan, we don't see the Lord's pastime, while there are devotees, exalted devotees, who are seeing Krishna's pastime there. Still the Rasa dance is being performed there, right, by the Lord. And then in the night, if you go to Raman Reti place, there are still trees which shows that the dance is happening, and people see the different mark in the morning. Different things are happening, right? Nobody is allowed to go in the night there. So it's a different dimension. Okay, it's a different dimension. But during this time, Dakshayana, what is telling that these people come back. In Uttarayana, those people don't come back. In the Dakshinayana, during the time, they will come back. And the comeback means they might be going back to the higher planetary system. Okay, so it is again being covered at the high level. The more description is in the Bhagavatam. So it is not that there's only one is going back, one is coming back. So there is people are even going to the higher planet, right? They are enjoying, like in this case, the moon planet, right, where it is considered to be like there is a somaras, and people are they are the life is 10,000 years by the human calculation, but they die and they come back, right? So this is what even the people who are going to there are people say that we are going to Swargalok, they are again coming back. So that is also the category which is being talked here. Okay.
So Prabhuji, it doesn't mean like our senses are limited, right? That's the main reason. So we don't have
Yes,
the senses to see things basically
correct, Prabhuji.
because we are
Correct.
not pure. Okay, Hari
Yes,
Bol.
yes, Prabhu. Absolutely, Prabhu. Sukla Krishne Gati Hat He Ate Ete
Shukla Krishne Gati Hi Ite
Jagata Sashvate Mate
Jagata Saswate Mate
Ekaye Yati Anavritam
Ekaya Yati Anavritim
An Avartate Punaha.
Anya Avartate Puna.
According to Vedic opinions, these are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when passes in darkness, he returns. right? So the same description of departure and return is quoted by Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan from Chandyoga Upanishad. Those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. So this is this is being even talked at the higher level. These are the people who we think that, oh, they are very pious people. They've gone to the higher planet. Even some are considered, oh, they have gone to they have taken the moksha. So moksha has a different definition. The scope of definition. um, One moksha is that you are out of the cycle of life and that they never come back, right? So at least one is getting the sayujya mukti, at least, which is going into the Brahman. And then we have talked about the other mukti. Anybody remembers what are the, even you don't remember the name, can you tell me what are the muktis, different kind of muktis, where one goes, like different things we talked about?
If you pray ancestors, you go to Bra. I don't get the name.
Yeah, don't worry about the name, just tell me
Those
the
who
characteristic.
respect the elders and ancestors, don't they go to separate?
They go
Okay.
to Pitralok.
Yeah, so they are Pitralok, yeah. So, but this is not, but this is that is the still in the material realm, right? So Pitralok is in the material realm. They come back, okay? They will come back. So we are talking about the spiritual mukti, right? The spiritual mukti. So no it's not that there is a pause and then you are come back, right? For us, like, so if it is if it is our planet, right? We are a different planetary system. This is Earth planet. This is the lower planet system, right? Here, so let's say this is a Pitralok. So we people they go to the Pitralok, stay somewhere, then again based on their piety or the karma, whatever, they are again born here. They can go here, there, wherever, right? So they are in the cycle of life and death, right? This is what we are talking about, the cycle of life and death. This continues, okay? Then the people who go mukti, right? They go out of the cycle of birth and death. There are different destinations. There are the 5 different kind of muktis we talked about, 5 types of muktis, types of mukti. One is the sayujya mukti. This is the merging with the Brahman, right? This is, so when the yogis, the the Astanga yogis or Jnana yogis, they through meditation or through the yoga system, when they are getting the mukti, this is typically where they go, sayujya mukti. Okay, and then so this is the suspension. There is no interaction. There is like a neutral state, sayujya mukti. The devotee of the Lord, they don't want sayujya mukti. Okay, so they don't want any mukti first of all, right? Especially in the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, they don't want our goal is not the mukti, right? So, but invariably, if you are serving, if you are desiring to serve the Lord, these are the 4 kind of mukti you are going to get. One is the salokya. Salokya means the same planet where the Lord lives, same planet. Salokya, Sarupya, same bodily feature as the Lord, bodily feature as the Lord. So like a Vishnu form, bodily feature, like in like Vaikuntha. Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Samipya is near the Lord. So it will be probably in the Goloka Dham where the Lord is living, right? So probably in the Goloka Dham, Samipya and Saristi. Sharisti is same opulence as the Lord, same opulence as the Lord. So these are the different. So there are total 5, right? So these are the 5, and these are the typically the devotee. They will get one of those muktis because they want to serve the Lord, and to serve the Lord, you have to have the characteristic of the Lord. Okay, so that's where. So that's the reason the devotee goes through the lot of cleanliness. It is not a easy because the destination is pretty hard. Destination is pretty high. So but the journey compared to where devotee wants to go, the journey is very easy because the goal and the path is the same. Bhakti. The goal is bhakti. If I go to a spiritual world, what I want to do? I want to serve the Lord, right? So what I'm going to do? Bhakti. So I'll keep performing the bhakti. Whether you keep me here, I'll do the bhakti. Whether you keep me in the higher planet, I'll do the bhakti. You send me to a lower planet, I'll do the bhakti. You send me out of this whole planetary system, I'll do the bhakti. Okay. And that's chapter Bhagavad Gita will conclude chapter 18. Lord will say that abandon all variety of just religion, just come back to me. I'll take away all your sin, don't worry. Okay. So that's 26. So I think we might
क्वेश्चन
yes Prabhu. Yes Prabhu ji.
जैसे आपने बोला फर्स्ट में बेसिकली so does it mean that the soul is not individual soul anymore? It becomes part of the whole, part of Krishna completely.
Sayujya? Yes Prabhu, the
Yes,
soul.
ji, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, the soul atomicity wise. So this is again the visualization, Prabhu. Just this is not exactly how it, but just it will help, right? So see, there are small. Something happened to my OneNote. I think I have to. Okay, what is this? One big line. I'll just close this OneNote and reopen it. Just give me a minute.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll fix it later. I don't know why it is became so small. And okay, so yeah, so I wanted to draw something. Okay, okay, now I know what I was trying to do. Okay, so if you see that in the Brahma Jyoti, like there are all like a small dot. These are all different soul. Like it's the web of all souls. So still the atomicity is there. It's not that you, because the you saw one of the property of the soul is the as atomic unit we always exist, right? But then when we are going and becoming a part of this category where these are all innumerable souls who are becoming the part of this Brahma Jyoti, right? So in a way you are atomic, right? It's not that you are losing your identity, okay?
Okay.
But you are in a kind of a suspended state. There is no there's no life and death, but there is no interaction either. So just like that, you can imagine something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Prabhu. Any other question? Sorry. Okay, so no question, right?
No.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. So so we are doing very well today. I thought that we won't be able to complete that, so we'll read the 27 and 28 verse from directly from here. Okay, so let's complete the chapter. Actually, let's make it bigger for you. Naite Shruti Partha Gyanan
Naite Shriti Partha Gnanam
Yogi Muhyati Kṛṣṇa
Yogi Muhyati Kṛṣṇa
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu
Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna.
Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna.
Although the devotees know those two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So now it is talking about the devotees. As a devotee, you don't worry about these two paths, right? What is telling? Although a devotee knows, so we know about these two paths. With the knowledge, we know, okay, there is Uttarayana, Dakshayana, there is the cycle of life and death, and all this stuff will happen. As a devotee, you don't worry about it. What you worry about is fixing your mind on devotion. And if you do that, then what happens? Right? Then what happens?
You remember him all the time, even Antikale, basically.
Yes, Prabhu. And that's what is being answered here. Vedeshu yagneshu tapeshu chaiva.
Vedeshu Yagneshu Tapashu Saiva
Dhyaneshu yat punya phalam pradishtatam.
daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam
Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva
atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva
yogi param sthanam upeti chadyam.
yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Wow. Let's read it again and focus, right? A person who accepts the path of devotional service, the one who is accepting the path of devotional service, it's not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas. Why people are studying Vedas? Oh, I'll get some piety, right? So studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, right? All the different yajna sacrifices, undergoing austerities, right? Doing the lot of big vratas, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. All this, the path of karma yoga, or the fruitive, like the not karma yoga actually, the karma kanda vidhis, right? Fruitive activities, karma kanda. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these. So all the opulence, whatever is needed, will just come directly by doing the devotional service. Even the devotee doesn't want any of those things, because if the devotee wants these things, so it is like kind of, it becomes like oxymoron type, the kind of thing. I want something. This means that I'm not a devotee, because I am not looking for to please Krishna. I'm looking to please myself. Philosophically, I understand that, oh, Krishna is supreme and I need to go to Krishna, but my behavior is all non-Krishna. Okay. So devotee, the pure devotee, is thinking how to please Krishna. And so all those things he doesn't want, even though they are going to come and get it, right? We last class we were talking about one of the story, right? How the Lord is coming and giving the gold and all those things, but the devotee is like, this is just like a mud. It's like mitti. It's just like a soil. Just cover it. I don't want it, right? That's how the devotees are thinking. And those devotees, the pure devotees, at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So these people, these devotees, they go to supreme eternal abode. So they are out of the cycle of birth. These are the muktis. They'll get it automatically. So the mukti, which becomes such a big thing like dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these things, which the limbs of Hinduism typically talk about, they say moksha. That's so you do the dharma, and through dharma you earn the artha, and through artha you like kama, right? You enjoy whatever you have to do because you, and then through that you'll get the moksha. That's how it works. But this is beyond dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That is in Bhagavatam is called kaitava dharma. Right? It's cheating religion. This is beyond that, and those devotee, they reach the lots. The mukti is just a side effect. All the opulences is just a side effect. Okay, so this verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapter, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penance while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master, just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fast. This is how the typical ashrams were supposed to, because it tries to get the people to act in a humble way. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. Okay, after the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. The study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. So why one need to study Vedas? To form the character, not for becoming getting a PhD. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must. So see, there's a part of brahmach is the grahastha life, right? It is the purification. So sacrifices or austerity is happening, taking care of the family is happening. I am learning about all my anarthas, right? Interaction with my spouse and with my relationship. And as long as I'm reflecting internally, learning from it, I am growing. I'm really utilizing the Grahastha life properly. And while on the other hand, I'm thinking, why these people are doing this? This is the bad relative, this is the bad wife, this is the bad child, or this is what, this is everything is creating all the misery. Right? And just turn the thing, oh, this is for me, this is how I'm learning. You see, the same situation is becoming a learning thing. It's not place of misery. It's okay. The misery, the 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 painful events are there, but they're not causing the pain. Whether I get the pain or not, it is under my control once we bring Kṛṣṇa in our life. Okay. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in passion, in the ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. So, chapter 16 will talk about the giving in the mode of goodness, passion. So, not all giving is the same, right? Giving for the dance performance, giving for the cultural event, giving for the dog charity, giving for all those things. So these are the mode of ignorance and mode of passion, right? So people want something, while the mode of goodness is how, like, so let's say there is for the giving for the temple is for, of course, for the transcendental, where the preaching is has to happen. But the temple is built just for a big temple and nothing. It's just like, oh, this is a big temple, and so again, depends, depending on the context, can be passion, or it can be goodness, or it can be transcendental, right? But most of the charity we'll see that is giving in the mode of passion and ignorance. Okay, so all those will be described in chapters 16. Okay, then after retiring from household life, one accept upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, the under he undergoes severe penances, living in forest, dressing with tree bark, not shaving it, etc. By carrying out the order of Brahmacharya, householder life, Vanaprastha, and finally sannyasa, one becomes elevated to the perfected stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdom, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, this is the Sayujya Mukti I'm talking about, or in the Vaikuntha planet or Krishna Loka. This is the other four kind of muktis. This is the path outlined by the Vedic literature. So this is the Varnashrama Dharma which is being described here. Okay, and this is so principle of the Varnashrama Dharma, it is required in the beginning stages. But for the devotee, Varnashrama one that did not follow, does not the mandatory thing to follow. So the principle like living a sattvic life is important. That allows us to enter into the realm of the devotion. Like the four basic principle: no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit connection, right? Those things are required to become enter into the mode of devotion. Then we start practicing, and we talked about how we'll see that the good qualities will be developing, the more tolerance, more humility, truthfulness, right? Simple life, all those Brahmanical qualities will be coming into that devotee. And that will lead to more devotion, better devotion, more purity. That will lead to more characteristic developing. And this is how it works, right? The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different order of life. So this is the statement, the striking statement. If it would be in my OneNote, I would have highlighted it. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. Okay. So there are two more paragraph. I think you guys can stay for another few minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so let's finish this. The words idam viditva indicate that one should understand the instruction given by Shri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So idam viditva means that we have to follow this instruction. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in the association with devotees. Association with devotees. Okay, emphasis. Chapter 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first six and the last six chapters are like covering for the middle six chapters. We had talked about, right, how one of our acharya has compared this with the jewelry box, right? The middle part is this sixth chapter what we are reading, which are especially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, fortunate enough, right, of the million one can understand, especially these middle six chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penance, sacrifice, charity, speculations. Beyond that, even dharma, artha, kama, like those people who are living the very life true to dharma, artha, kama, moksha, following the Vedic injunction, it goes beyond that. For one can achieve all the result of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee. Because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, not from mental speculators. So that's the reason we'll see that there are a lot of pious people who are studying Bhagavad Gita, but are they really understanding the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Are they really following the Bhagavad path? Or they are getting caught up in the path of rituals? Bhagavad path is this path of bhakti. It's called Bhagavad path. Okay, otherwise it's the path of rituals. Various different people do different kind of rituals. It's not they are bad people, they are following the Vedic injunction, but it is in the realm of the dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay, this is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotees association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, see, devotee word is emphasized so much. Association of devotees is so important. By advancement in the association of devotees, one is placed in devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgiving about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastime, names, and other features. So see, this is so Krishna's different characteristics are slowly revealed. So so nama, nam, uh, activities. So the Krishna's pastime, form. So first the name is revealed, then the form is revealed, then the pastime is revealed. So then the guna is revealed, and then the pastime is revealed. So this all happen in the sequential order. So the revelation will happen layer by layer. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna abode in a spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. So I would definitely say read it once more, right? Maybe in next class we will just read it once more. We hurriedly read it, but each line is just the essence of bhakti, right? That how and what is the destination, how the revelations are happening, because Prabhupada is bringing all this thing together, right? That what is the goal, what is the benefit of doing the bhakti. And then at the advanced stage, so same person, we reading Bhagavad Gita, we are finding one layer. As we keep getting purified, again we'll read, and there are stories while the one person who's completely illiterate, he sees the Bhagavad Gita and he tears start flowing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, why you are crying? And he's holding the Bhagavad Gita upside down. Then he says that my guru has asked me to read Bhagavad Gita, but I'm so illiterate that I can't read it. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, but why you are crying? He said that whenever I think of Bhagavad Gita, I think of Krishna being the Sarthi and how Arjun is kicking him, right, and running, and the tears start flowing. So that's the kind of remembrance, right? You just meditate. That happen spontaneously. So this is the sign of the exalted devotee, right? They are in the prema of the Lord. So if you think that maybe instances in your life where you were in a very deep relationship with your spouse, or maybe you are, you will see that just by remembering some instance, you start feeling the affection and love for your spouse. But whether it's a lust or love, that's a different discussion, right? So, but the true love, typically in the material world, it is saying that it typically happens between the mother and the child. Okay, or all other loves are lusty love, where there is expectation what's in it for me. Okay, so with that, I will end the class for today. Next class, what we will do, we'll do a quick review, some question answer, and I would like to talk a little bit on the glory of the Naam, right? So I will focus more. I would like to make sure that we are all are practicing it, because we really want to move. We have to practice it. So we have to do little push for each other, support each other, right? So we'll see, we will push through a little bit through the knowledge points, so that we get the more conviction develops. If you are doing chanting, increase the number of chanting, increase the quality of the chanting. If you're not doing chanting, start doing the chanting. So we will work on those, and then we'll start chapter 9 as the time permits. So it will be more, uh, we'll keep it more interactive next time, hopefully. So, but all will depend how you all want to do it. Okay, is that a good plan for next week?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
Yes,
okay,
Prabhuji.
okay, Prabhuji, Mataji, take care. Wish you all